Come on in, Lenore Hawkins, financial advisor. Lenore, welcome back to the program. I want to ask you about your work and the Pope, because I know that you spend about half your time in Italy advising wealthy Italians on how to manage their money. You spend a lot of time there. So I want you to tell us, what do Italians think about this Pope, specifically about the Pope coming to America to talk about climate change?
Yeah, well, they love him socially. Obviously, he is, for many Catholics, a vast improvement over the prior Pope. He's a lot more open-minded about many of the issues that younger people in particular are interested in. But when it gets to climate change and when it gets to how to run the economy, they get a little bit more concerned, because in Italy, they have a much, much bigger line between church and state than even we have in the United States.
Well, wait a second.
Not too excited.
There's a big divide between church and state in Italy, bigger than there is here? Really?
Much bigger there. Well, you've got a long history of the church being the state.
Yep.
In that part of the world. And that didn't go very well. They didn't like that very much. So they don't really like him getting involved in how to run the country. When it comes to the government, it's much more secular than in the U.S. I mean, in the U.S., we kind of look at it more with a Christian perspective, and you'll often hear people speaking of the United States as being a Christian nation, and Italians would not speak, for the most part, of their country as being at all Catholic.
Did you watch the Pope's remarks this morning? I'm sure you did. We were all sitting here on the set watching the Pope speak, and we were astonished that climate change occupied such a large portion of his presentation. I'm sure you watched it. Were you equally surprised?
Yes, I think we've got some other issues that maybe he could focus on, given that that's not really his area of expertise.
Yes,
this is a bit like when we have those in Hollywood, feeling like because they've got the stage.
I go back to the Italians. I mean, you're looking at an invasion of young Muslim males from North Africa, following the slaughter of Christians in North Africa. I can't imagine what Italians must think about what's going on here.
Yeah, you look at the immigration problem that we've got in Europe, it's heartbreaking. It really is a humanitarian crisis of rather epic proportions. And handling it in a very compassionate and Christian manner, I would think, would be much more important to the Pope than climate change. That's a little bit further off and not his area of expertise. His area of expertise really ought to be focused on people helping each other, and the Italians are viewing this much the same way. Because when you get into climate change, again, you're getting into government control.
Yes, you're getting into policy and politics. Exactly what you're doing.
And that's,
Lenore,
not really a good place for the church to get messed up in.
I know you're in San Diego right now, correct? And so, but
yes.
Look, thanks very much for chiming in. We do appreciate you being here. Lenore, thank you.
Thanks. Great to see you again.